Hey, we're gonna let the audience build here for a second. All right, here a little bit early today. All right, we're gonna let the audience build a little bit. Okay. All right, here we go. We're gonna start getting on. As always, we're gonna wait for it to get to 1,000, and I'm just getting a couple of things here prepared. All right, where are we? 344. We'll be at 1,000 pretty soon. I'll tell you what, while we're waiting for the audience to build, let me just tell you a couple. All right, here we go. We're over 1,000. I won't have to get into that too much. All right, so this is going to be a pretty quick walk and talk today. I'm not going to be able to do my typical hour with you, and the reason being is because we are preparing for a lot of things for next week. And so I'm going to have some really cool announcements for you next week about everything that we're doing over here at DML Daily. And so my day is swamped. I don't have enough time to go out and walk or whatever it may be. Plus, on top of that, it's kind of cold and nasty outside. So I'm going to sit here and talk to you for maybe 20 minutes. We're going to talk about stuff that's going on in the last 24 hours. The news with the whole ban is huge. I mean, it's huge. The stuff that's going on with the extreme vetting. The reaction to it is almost as you expect it to be. I want to break it down for you what it all means, or at least at a high level. So this way, you kind of get a sense for where we are and the exaggerations that are being placed around it. And then I'm going to tell you a story too, if you haven't seen it already, about this thing that took place with this FedEx driver, and what should happen to that FedEx driver and what should not happen to that FedEx driver who stopped a bunch of thugs from burning the American flag. So let's get into it. So on Friday, President Trump signed an executive order, actually two orders, and the guy is keeping to his promises. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty about what it is that actually will be taking place, listen to the words I just said. The man is keeping to his promises. When have you ever heard anybody say that about a politician from either side of the aisle? These guys and gals who run for office, they sit up there, they promise you everything. They sell you the sun, they sell you the moon. They are chameleons left and right. You fall in love with the ideas, you fall in love with the story, and all you get is a whole bunch of nothing. And I remember one of the times that I was appearing on the Kelly File. And at that time, I was thinking about getting into politics. And I've talked to you about that before. And I thought maybe what I would do first is get into Congress and then try to work my way up, whatever. But I really didn't want to be a congressman. But regardless of the fact, I was actually in a green room with a congressman from New York. He was a Republican. And I said to him, and he knew me, and I knew him just from being on television all the time. And I asked him what it was like being a congressman, because I was thinking about running in this last, not this last election, but 2 cycles ago. We have a guy out here now where I live in Long Island called Lee Zeldin. He's a Republican, and he was actually running. I was gonna try to primary against him and then see if I could beat him and then go against a Democrat, because it was a pretty easy win at the time out here. So anyway, long story short, what the guy said to me was that I shouldn't do it, and he said, "Don't do it." And he was so honest. He said, "You have these ideas in your head. You want to change the world. You want to change where you live. You're going to do everything. You go in there with all these promises you made to people, and you really don't keep any of them." And I said, "Why is that?" And he said, "Well, because most of the time from a congressional standpoint, because you run every 2 years, all you're doing 80 to 85% of the time is you're just out raising money for the next election cycle. And if you're not out raising money, the GOP gets on you like white on rice." And I was like, I don't want that kind of life. And so, not making excuses for these guys and gals, but for the most part is they make you all these promises, and then when they get into DC, they're more concerned about going to the next fundraiser or about how it is to keep the people who gave them all the big checks, how to keep them happy, whatever. Finally, after the same complaints coming from both sides of the aisle, that we can't find politicians, let alone a president, who is going to keep to his promises, we get somebody who has done nothing but work towards showing you that he is a man of his word. If you look at the things that they say about Trump, aside from the BS racist, and he's anti this and he's anti that and he's not nice to women or whatever, they call him a liar. In fact, we posted a story last night about Cher, the singer Cher. Remember Sonny and Cher? Cher. She's actually 70 years old now. She did a thing on CNN stating how she has been alive for 12 presidents. 12 presidents. And she says that Trump is the worst thing that's ever happened, that we're about to see hell in a way that we've never dreamt of before. And so when she was asked why, she says, because the man is a complete liar. He's such a great liar that he should actually get an Oscar for his lying. Now, here's the thing. What's he lying about? You may recall that when I was at the inauguration, when I was walking around doing the walk and talk, we had a pretty big crowd. And I met that man, and he had a sign up that said, hey, America has been conned or tricked or whatever it was, lied to by Donald Trump. And I asked him, can you give me the one lie that keeps you up at night? What's the one lie that Trump keeps up, that keeps you up? What is it that's really... He couldn't answer. Do you remember? And I said to him, look, I'll tell you what the one Obama lie was. He told me I was going to be able to keep my doctor if I wanted to, but I wasn't able to. Not only was I not able to keep my doctor, I lost my insurance. The guy couldn't come back with anything, and he walked away from me. Okay. Trump promised us that he would get us out of TPP. Trump promised us that he would cut back and make smaller government. Trump promised us that he would build a wall between Mexico and the U.S. and that Mexico would pay for it, even though most of us don't care if we pay for it, just as long as you put the damn thing up. He made a lot of promises to us. And most people, if you remember this, aside from everybody else, all the pundits, even the people on the right, were saying not only is he not going to win the primaries, not only does he not have a chance at winning the main election, but he'll never do the stuff he's telling you he's going to do. He's lying to you. He's saying whatever it is that's fashionable. He's telling you whatever it is that you want to hear. How are you people? You people are so stupid. You're believing? You're falling for this? How many times did you hear that from your friends and relatives? How many times did you hear that from somebody on Fox News or somebody from CNN or one of the other stations about how it is, come on, he's not going to get any of this stuff. He's not going to do any of this stuff. So far, the guy has shown that he's honest. He's an honest guy because he's doing everything that he said he would do, and he's doing it right away. He's not taking time to feel around Washington, D.C. and to go see what the best restaurants were and to rub elbows with all the different people there. He's not doing that. He's sitting down. He's got his lawyers. He's got his team. He's like, now we got to get this. 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 And he's boom, 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 boom. He's knocking it all out. So number one thing you can check on the list is that the man is not a liar. And that the people who called him a liar are the liars. They're the fake newsers. They're the fake storytellers. They're the ones who can't find their buttocks with both hands. This guy is going in and he's kicking butt. And you want to know why he's kicking butt? Let me tell you why he's kicking butt as a fellow entrepreneur. Because when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a business builder, when you are in charge of feeding yourself and your family, if you have a plan and you don't stick to that plan, well, guess what? You're not eating. If you sit there and you tell everybody that how you're going to build this beautiful bridge and you're going to build a bridge to Hawaii and you only build it 3/4 of the way, guess where you are? At the bottom of the ocean. So this guy knows how to get things done. He knows how to get them done quickly. He knows how to get them cheaply. He knows how to get them done effectively. That's why I said in 2014 and all along, we need a businessman in there. Somebody who doesn't sit around and hem and haw and then let's have 15 discussions about the 20 discussions we had last week. And where did we leave off on that? Who had those notes? No. He just sits down. He says, this is what the people want. I've been going across the country. This is what we need. Here are our problem spots. Let's do it. You know, Hillary Clinton wrote a book. Didn't go very far. I think it was called Tough Choices. Tough Choices. You know, her toughest choice was, do I have an email server or I do not have an email server in my own basement? Tough choices is what Donald Trump's doing. You think it's easy to sit there and make some of these executive orders knowing the fact that the mainstream media, the Democrats, and half America who didn't vote for you are going to take a 2x4 to the back of your name? You think that? No, it's not. But strong leaders, the best leaders, what they do is they stand tall, they have backbone, they lead. They realize the fact, and remember I said this to you, if you try to make everybody happy, you'll wind up making everybody miserable. That's really what it is. So to one degree, he's taking everybody on the one side who voted for him, everybody who believed in him, and he's saying, listen to me, I'm promising you that I'm going to get everything done that I promised that I would. And here's the proof in the pudding. So you're happy. Now he's got to take the other half. They're unbelievably screaming all over the place. I'm not going to the Oscars. I'm not doing it. They're crying their eyes out. He's a racist. I can't see. Okay? Yeah, the share, oh my God, of 12 presidents. This man's ruining America. I listen to this stuff and I say, how? How? Well, he's not a liar. What's he doing? What's wrong? What's wrong with any of this stuff? Have you looked at the problems in this country? And so what he's realizing is that half of the half will wind up coming over. The reasonable people will come over. The shares of the world, all the Hollyweirds of the world, all the ACLUs of the world. He couldn't, I mean, listen, he could wind up giving away free ice cream to everybody in the world, and they would say, oh, he's trying to fatten people. I mean, they will come up with something that this man has done wrong, or why he's doing it for the wrong reasons. So let's get past that. Let's now look at what he just did. They're calling it a ban on Muslims. Yep, ban on Muslims. He's un-American, he's unconstitutional, he's a hater, he's a thisser, he's a thatter. Okay? First of all, everybody is misinterpreting here what this man has said. And what he has said and what he has done is absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely needed. Because let me tell you about, we'll use Cher today. We'll pick on Cher. Cher is the liberal progressive of the day. Cher's going to cry and say, this is hell. This is hell. You've never seen hell like this before. 12 presidents in my life. You know what hell is? I'll tell you what hell is. Hell is when you're in a discotheque or at whatever it is, at a club, and some guy comes in and starts screaming Allahu Akbar and shoots the hell out of you and kills 40, 50 people in a night. Hell is when you're in San Bernardino at a Christmas party and some person comes in the name of Allah, who has now have connections to ISIS, comes in and shoots up. Hell is when a guy turns around and has gone to Pakistan numerous different times, comes back and tries to blow up dumpsters and kill people in Manhattan. That's hell. Hell is when you are a mother or a father or a person of any age, and you stand at a window 80 stories high, and you look down and you figure that the less of all the evils that are in your face right now is to jump from that window. That Cher is hell. And if you were standing at that window, Cher, you'd be screaming like a little infant child for help. So this way somebody could come up and save your plastic surgery ass. That's what you'd be doing. And if Donald Trump was in charge, you know what he would do? He'd do whatever he had to do to come get you, because that's the kind of man he is. All this guy is doing is saying we've got to stop the revolving door that nobody is standing and protecting. I have used this example to you before. And Cher, I used this example to you, seeing that you're such a celebrity. You may remember, Cher, going back in your 70 years, there was a show called I Love Lucy. I talk to my audience about this show all the time. And there was an episode, maybe the single best episode of I Love Lucy, where you just laugh and you laugh and your gut out, where she is working in a chocolate factory. And she's standing there, it's like little kisses, chocolate kisses coming through. And her job is to take those chocolates and to wrap them up and to get them back on the conveyor belt. Well, what happens is that so many chocolates are coming through at such a rapid pace, uncontrollably, that she can't literally check them and wrap them and put them back correctly. So what she does is she starts haphazardly taking them and putting them in her mouth, and she's putting them in a shirt, she's putting them down a shirt, she's putting them in a pants, she's doing everything she possibly can, and all she's getting is maybe one chocolate, two chocolate inspected and wrapped, and all the rest of them are just flowing and getting through, and it's all a mess. That's our immigration system. That's our immigration system. And so we're doing this the whole time. We're doing this. Because in addition to our immigration system being like that, the FBI is absolutely overwhelmed. I mean, they're overwhelmed. They're missing things because they're told to check these boxes. And if all those boxes don't check, then you just let the person out. It's ridiculous. But one of the reasons why they're doing that, one of the reasons why they're rubber stamping, boom, 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 okay. Approved. No problem. The reason why they're skipping people, the reason why they're missing things, is because right now, at any given time, they have over 1,000 investigations going on possible terrorism threats here in this U.S., and every single time they get another, they put a folder down. Okay, we looked at this one. Next folder comes in. Next folder comes in. It's constantly. It's the chocolates coming down the factory. And you know what? Ones are getting missed. Oh, all right. Well, this guy's only been to Pakistan 3 times. His uncle only did transactions with ISIS 2 times. All right. Well, you know what? That's 2 of the 5 boxes. He's okay. The only way to allow Lucy to get those chocolates wrapped the right way is to slow down the conveyor belt. Make it so this way she can do her job the correct way. We're not talking about a permanent ban on chocolate. We're talking about slowing things down. So we know that there are no poisonous chocolates in the batch. I'm sure you've heard this analogy as well. Go up to one of these share people. Go up to one of these people who are calling it how un-American it is and how unconstitutional it is. And the ACLU now is going to sue the president, and he's going to sue the government over this whole thing. Take the big, huge bowl of 10,000 M&Ms and take one of them and put cyanide in it and put it in the bowl and wrap your hand around it and say, here you go, Cher. Pick an M&M. See if she puts her hand in there. One terrorist out of 10,000. See if Cher dips her hand into going into that M&M bowl. Guarantee you she doesn't risk her life like that. But she'll be willing to risk your life. She'll be willing to risk somebody else's life. All in the sake of political correctness. Donald Trump is not saying that these people can never come back into our country. Donald Trump isn't saying we're not going to have any Muslim people coming into our country. Donald Trump isn't saying forever and for always, if you're from Syria, if you're somewhere else, you can't come into our country. What Donald Trump is saying is that you're going to stop. Stop. I got ISIS running wild. I got Islamic terror running wild. We've got lone wolf attacks in Europe coming in at a rapid pace. There are no controls. We've got women being raped at unbelievable paces over in Europe, and that stuff's coming here. We've got little kids being raped and beaten by these people who are coming over because we don't know who they are. We're not going to have that coming over here. We're not going to be Europe. We've already played this game a little bit, and we see we lose at it. We're going to slow it down. And what I'm going to have is the Department of Homeland Security and my immigration officials get to the drawing board, because as your president, I'm going to tell you right now, yes, we're going to accept immigration into this country, but I need to take care of the American people first. And you need to go to the drawing board and tell me what we need to have extreme vetting. So this way, every single time one of those chocolates goes past the conveyor, I know the person on the other side is getting a good chocolate. That's what he's saying. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with trying to protect the American people? You know, immigration laws weren't designed for immigrants. Immigration laws were designed to protect the American workers and the American lives. But we flipped it. Obama and other presidents before him flipped it. Donald Trump saying, wait a second. Have you actually read what these things say? I have. And it says I'm supposed to be protecting the American people and the American workers, not the immigrant. Donald Trump didn't create ISIS. Donald Trump didn't create this immigration mess. But it's now been dumped on his desk to fix it. And you know what he's not going to have? He would rather have a whole bunch of people calling him a racist. He'd rather have people telling him he's un-American and unconstitutional. He'd rather have the ACLU firing stones at him legally. He'd rather have the people, Scott Pelley from CBS News last night said, big, huge exaggeration, Donald Trump has taken an X and crossed out the message at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty. Really, Scott Pelley? No, you know what he did? Was he said, hold on, stop this bus until I can have a better inspection process. So this way you, Scott Pelley, don't do a report about how it is that I was a lackadaisical president and I put American lives and American jobs at risk. This isn't even about jobs. This is about keeping people alive. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Somebody come and debate me on this. The other thing President Trump has done is he said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a look at when we turn this thing back on again, we're going to take a look at the Syrian Christians. Because, oh, by the way, talk about coincidences? No. The majority, the lion's share, 99% or whatever the number is, 98.6%, whatever. Don't hold me to the actual percentage. It's insanely close to 100. Of the people who have come here on the refugee program from over there are all Muslim. Meanwhile, the Christians over there are being completely slaughtered. Why do we only have 1% or less than 1% of them being Christians? I'll tell you why. Because President Barack Hussein Obama has a little thing inside where he thinks the Muslim population isn't treated nicely here by the people of the United States. He thinks it is that we need to have more Muslim people here in this country to balance things out. And so that's what he started. That's the programs he put in place. That's what you call fundamentally transforming the United States of America. Yeah. And anybody with common sense knows that you're going to be taking in refugees in a situation where Christians are being slaughtered, and they're only going to wind up getting in here out of the 1%, out of the 10, 13,000, out of the 13,000 you sent in here. We're going to have a few hundred being Christian. The rest of them are all going to be Muslims. What, do we have moron written on our forehead? Trump says no. No. We're stopping this. We're slowing it down. We're fixing all this stuff. And we're going to start having the people who need the assistance, truly need the assistance, to also have a chance to come in here. Not just because you got Muslim checked in the box. Sorry. The other thing, too, nobody brings this up. Nobody brings this up in the mainstream media. And this is why you come in here on Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We are taking in refugees from Muslim countries that harbor terrorists and who have no real system for knowing who the people in their country are. We have no access to those systems. We have no way right now to say, oh yeah, by the way, Syria, can you tell us who Bill Jones is? Can you tell us what he's done, the crimes he's committed, the people he's been with, or whatever it may be? Can you fill that out for me, please? ISIS, when they took over one of the cities in Syria, wound up getting their hands on a passport printing machine. A passport printing machine. They have already said, and we have already caught them, embedding themselves within the population of refugees. And you can't understand why the President of the United States wants to slow this down? America, for too long, has learned all of its lessons the hard way. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because we're spoiled. I don't know if it's because we've come so obsessed with, with I. My battery's running dead. iPhone this and I that and I everything. Maybe we're just so consumed with the 6 inches that are in front of our face that we can't be bothered with anything else around us. We want everything instantaneous. I have no idea what has happened. But what President Trump is doing is he's not chasing a problem. He's not chasing the next terror attack. He's not writing out how he's going to get at the podium and say, maybe bow our heads and pray for the victims. I'm tired of praying for victims. I don't want there to be any more victims. I don't want to pray for the victims anymore. Let's get in front of the problem. Let's get in front of the problem and make it so this way we don't have to pray for the victims. What's wrong with that? Why do we always have to chase the problems? Why are we always sitting there and saying, oh, shucks? Why do we get up there and just allow politicians like Obama to say, we will not cave in to terrorism? Yeah, we did. We cave into terrorism every single time. We take over a busload of refugees, 500 of them, and we drop them off in Minnesota, or we drop them off in Arizona, or we drop them off somewhere in Dakota. That's giving into it. That's giving into the political correctness. Don't tell me we're not giving in. By not giving in is what Donald Trump just did. He sent a message to the world. The party is over. I am no longer going to stand here as the leader of this country and allow my people, whether those people are women, men, Christians, Muslims, atheists, I don't care what they are. I'm not allowing the American people to walk around knowing that at any given time they could wind up losing their life, or they're losing their family, or losing somebody they love, or somebody they know or work with, because I was asleep at the wheel. Because I didn't tell the people who were at DHS and in immigration and in Customs and Borders to make sure that you check, not a once, not a twice, not a 3, not a 4 times. You check 5 times. You ensure the fact that there is no poisonous M&M in that bowl. You ensure the fact that not one chocolate gets past that conveyor belt without having been wrapped and looked at and secured correctly. That's the kind of president I want. That's the kind of president we need. These are the kind of programs that will get America safe again, that will make America great again. Nobody's saying that immigration is going to be completely shut down. I've had these sort of things thrown at me, just like Mr. Trump's had them thrown at him, but at a much smaller level. You get up on media, you get up on Fox, you get up on any of these places, you write a couple of articles. There was a thing on my Wikipedia page the other day saying that Dennis Michael Lynch's website is a right-wing blog which throws out bigotry. No, it doesn't. What it does is it throws out what's realistic. This isn't about a religion. This is about safety. And maybe it is that a guy like me or a guy like Trump is a little bit more passionate about this than maybe the next person is, because we were in New York on 9/11. Do you know on 9/11, after 9/11, there was the whole cleanup down there? It was you'd go down there and you would see the firemen, you'd see the first responders, you'd see volunteers of all levels down there working in the pile. You'd see families aching and begging and crying and putting up leaflets of the pictures of their lost ones, begging and hoping that somebody was going to walk out of a building or a hotel and be like, hey, I've been here the whole time. What are you worried about? Those people never walked out. Then it came to the point of, boy, I hope I could just find a little bit of remains. Do you know that Donald Trump took the people that worked for him and sent them down to assist on any level they possibly could to the volunteers down there? He didn't bring cameras. He wasn't looking for fanfare. He wasn't looking for anybody to sit there and be like, oh, 9/11, it's all about Donald Trump and how he's helping. He did it under the radar screen. He did it at his own cost, at his own expense. And I know this to be true because I interviewed Bernie Kerik, who is now a friend of mine, who was the top cop here in New York City at the time of 9/11. I used to have him on my show all the time at Newsmax, and we would talk when off air. In fact, I think he even told this story on air. And he told me about Trump. And he told me about that's the sort of thing he's done. Trump didn't go down there and say, listen, I'm going to give you guys supplies, but only give it to the cops, firemen, and first responders who are Christians. If somebody here is, in fact, a Muslim, don't give them anything. Come on. Come on. The fact of the matter is that our last president wouldn't identify Islamic terrorism. And if you can't identify who the person is who wants to kill you, you can't stop them. You can't. And so President Trump is sticking by what he promised you. By what he promised to the people who didn't even vote for him. To these people who are ignorant, who have the idea in their head that it's always going to happen to the other guy. It's never going to happen to me. No, Cher? It always happens to the other person, never to you. Big mouths from people who do nothing. Big mouths from people who have never been on the other side of that Islamic terror. When we have real vetting processes in place, Donald J. Trump will open the door again. I hope, albeit at a much smaller level. I still haven't had anybody ever explain to me what the unbelievable value is of taking all these people into this country. Oh, Dennis, now you sound like a hater. These people are suffering. If we took in all the people who are suffering in the world, we would shut down. We would shut down. There are other countries who have to step up. Most of all, we need to help these countries any way we possibly can without breaking the bank to make it better in your own backyard so you stay home. And oh, by the way, we were on the pace of doing that over there in Iraq and by Syria, and we had it all in place, and President Barack Obama unplugged it and created this mess that now Trump has to pick the pieces up for. And yeah, you know what's going to happen? People are going to come in on airplanes and they're going to be stopped at JFK. People are going to look to be getting on airplanes to come here and they're going to get stopped. There are going to be people who get caught in the crossfire, so to say, without really meaning any real fire, who were gone on a vacation and then try to get back and, whoa, wait a second. And yeah, there's going to be some sloppiness to it. Absolutely, there's going to be some sloppiness to it. But I have faith. I have faith in President Trump. I have faith in the people who work in our immigration systems and in DHS that will be able to sort through who should be coming back and who shouldn't be. And oh, by the way, if you need to be inconvenienced for a couple of hours at an airport, so this way we can check things twice, if you don't like it, get the hell out of here. All right? If it's inconvenient for you to have to be held for 12 hours, try to think what it's like for somebody, how inconvenient it is for a little kid or a parent who lost a loved one who ain't ever coming back. That said, I'm going to shift gears real quick here before I jump off. There was another story on DennisMichaelLynch.com, and if you haven't seen it, that means you don't have the app. And if you don't have the app, I don't even know what to help you with anymore. Okay? If you don't have the app, you're missing it. Last night we had a whole thing here with our staff all late at night. We were going back and forth. We're looking at the numbers right now for the app. The guy who created this app says, I've never seen anything like this before. The retention rate that you're getting, the amount of people they're using, it is averaging out right now on our app that people are spending an average of 52 minutes a day on their app. Yeah, on the DML app. And that's because it's that good and that powerful, and we give you all the information you need to know right at the beginning. We weed through all the crap so you don't have to ever question what is and what is not. That's the way it works. And it's only getting better, and it's only getting stronger, and I'm not going to stop. Because I remember this, I was sitting in the same chair for some of you that donated. I was watching President Trump, President-elect Trump, after he had won the election. He had done an interview, I think it was, with 60 Minutes, and Leslie Stahl ripped him to shreds, and I lost it. I said, you know what? I've got to do something. I've got to build a real news organization here that competes with these other guys, because we're going to need it. Not only just for Trump, but for going forward. They're trying to destroy this guy. He's fresh off the win, and they're trying to destroy him. And what? I've been so right, because for weeks now, look what they're doing to him. They're trying to destroy him. They're trying to do everything they possibly can. And so what? I raised money from you, right? And I said, look, send me this money. I will build apps. I will get people. I will get cameras. I will get everything you possibly need. You just give me 3 months, then 6 months, then a year. That's what I told you. And we're coming up on 3 months. And I got apps, and I got people, and we're about to get a location. Supposed to oath that up. I've kept to my word. We have to. And people are retending to this app, and they're coming in and now getting our information, and they're sharing it. And I'm watching our traffic skyrocket, because everybody's so thirsty. They're looking around saying, what's real, what's fake, what's real, what's fake. Everybody's using this real news, fake news, whatever. No, there is no real news, fake news. It's all about either it's driving one agenda or another agenda for all these different media companies. We're going to tell you exactly what it's like. And you know, if Trump was doing something wrong, I'll be the first one. I don't like the fact that Trump, as of right now, has not signed a mandatory e-verify. I don't like the fact that Trump has not come out and absolutely undone DACA. All right? Am I going to sit here and scream about it? No. Am I going to say it's hell? It's hell. No, but I'm going to keep him accountable. And I'll tell you why I don't like those things, which I have in the past. We're always going to give you the truth. That's why. So if you haven't gotten the app yet, I don't know what you're thinking about. You got to go to the App Store for Apple. You got to go to the Google Play Store for Google. And whether you got one of the Androids or you got the iPhone or whatever, you search for Dennis Michael Lynch. It's free. You download it. Case closed. It's over. All day long feeding you stuff. You click on what you want. You don't want what you ever. Just surf the titles. That said, I hope you saw the alert we put out today about that national hero who works at FedEx. National hero. I watched that guy. I said, you know what? That's what I would do. And I bet you sat there and said, that's what I would do. What are you talking about, DML? I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, let me tell you what it was. You got to go check it out for yourself, because hearing it from me isn't the same as seeing it. This is what we need to be doing. This guy's a FedEx driver, a little bull guy. You know, it looks like probably like a little linebacker or a running back in his high school days. And he's in his FedEx truck in Iowa. And there's a bunch of degenerates, thugs, anti-Trumpers in the middle of the street, taking the American flags and burning them, or attempting to anyway. This guy gets out. He's got his fire extinguisher. He goes up to them, putting the flags out. One guy against 10 or 11. Doesn't care about what those odds are physically. He's going to get in there and he's going to end it. So he gets in there and he grabs those American flags, and now the guys start trying to beat back on him. And you know what? We talk about this all the time. I tell you this about when I'm doing my walk and talks. He gave him the look. Go ahead. And he turned up the notch. And all those little chickens, there were 12 of them, 13 of them, all those chickens, they tried to play with him, and they knew, oh, I'm not going to touch that guy. Yeah, because you know why? Because he came in, and he came in like Trump did. No, this is not going to be the way it is. You're not going to burn these flags. I'm taking these flags back. You're not going to denigrate my flag like this. Yeah. So the guy takes the flags, puts them out with the fire extinguisher. One other guy comes over too and says, hey, I don't even agree with Trump half the time or all the time, whatever it may be, but you're not going to sit here and burn the flags. What's wrong with you guys? So the FedEx driver takes the flags and saves the day. I mean, everybody thinks he's a hero. I love this guy. We need more of that. You need to go see it. You go to DennisMichaelLynch.com. It's right there on the homepage. FedEx puts out a statement today saying that they're going to be investigating the entire situation internally. Let me tell you something. This guy gets fired. I'm going to hire him. I'll hire you, bud. You could do the news for me from Iowa. Because guys like you are what America's built on. Guys like you will never turn you back. I hire you in a heartbeat. I don't care. I don't care if you have no idea about what it is we do. I'll train you. That kind of guy is the guy you want on the front lines no matter what you are, where you are, or what you're doing. FedEx, if they have half a brain, won't reprimand him, won't do anything to him. If they're stupid, they suspend him. If they're stupid, they suspend them. And if they do that, you know what they'll witness? Just like Target. When Target opened up the bathrooms and said, "Oh yeah, just come on in. Transgenders, you can go into any bathroom, you go to any changing room you want." Target sunk like a rock in a pond. You watch it. They hold this guy accountable for trying to save the American flags. FedEx, I'll never go again. I'll go to UPS every single time, or I'll go to the United States Postal Service, and never again. I'm still, Mary and I, my wife is Mary, for those of you who don't know. Mary and I, our new series that we're watching on television, we do it every single night. We pick a series. Our series is we're watching the HBO special that's from years ago. I mean, what, more than a decade. Band of Brothers. We're watching these men. My wife, sitting down last night, we're watching what these men are going through to defend that flag. What these men went through. My God. We're watching the episode last night. They're in the snow. They can't feel themselves. They're getting blown up. They're losing their legs. They're not eating. They're not sleeping. They're not doing anything. So this way they can defend this country. And you know what my wife says to me? She says, I look at this, and she goes, that's why I can't watch an NFL game. I can't watch it. Colin Kaepernick and all these other people taking a knee. I can't watch it. And it is. And the Super Bowl tickets this year already are down. They're down. I think the price of the Super Bowl tickets are down like 10%. And they're going to stay that way. And they're trying to attribute it to all this other different BS. No, it's because people just don't care anymore. They just don't care anymore. There's only so much that you can push the envelope with the United States of America. There's only so much you can spit on what make this country so great and get away with it. That's it. Too many people. This is why Donald Trump is president. It's why the NFL ratings are down. It's why you can buy a ticket for a reasonable price, if it isn't even reasonable. And it's why a FedEx driver gets out of his truck and says, "You're not going to burn my flags." Yeah. So anyway, I was only supposed to go for 20 minutes, and like always, I went for 40. I went for 40. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to end it at this. I got a lot of work to do. I hope I explained things to you in a way that was not only digestible, but gave you some clarity. And that's that. Tomorrow's Sunday. I'll try to come back to you tomorrow at 11:40. Who knows? Stay tuned. But until then, and if you don't have the ability to have an app, you should at least sign up for the text alerts, which is still 40404, and you just write in follow at Real Dennis Lynch, and you'll get some of this stuff when we're going live or whatever. All right, so that's that. And hey, oh, by the way, we put up a great little photo of the whole lynch mob here. My daughter did last night. So if you haven't done the Instagram thing, go take a look at it. It's it's Instagram.com/DML is my dad. And don't forget, this week, towards the end of the week, going to have some pretty cool announcements, I think. All right, so that's that. All right, anyway, God bless you. God bless our troops. God bless the United States of America. And God bless that FedEx driver.